Have you ever started applying for a Vietnam visa and ended up completely lost in confusing websites, strange error messages, or outdated instructions? You're not alone. Millions of travelers from India and around the world struggle with Vietnam's e-visa process every year. But it doesn't have to be that way. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the official Vietnam e-visa application step by step, with no confusing jargon, no scams, and no last-minute surprises. By the end, you'll know exactly how to fill out the online form, what documents you absolutely need, how much it costs, and how long it really takes, even if you've never applied for a visa online before. And here's the best part. You'll learn insider tips that almost nobody else explains clearly, so you can avoid common mistakes that can delay or even reject your application. Stay with me. We're getting started right now. Here's the first thing most travelers don't realize. You can apply for a Vietnam visa from almost anywhere in the world, including India, without stepping into an embassy or dealing with middlemen. All you need is an internet connection, a valid passport, and about 20 minutes of your time. The Vietnam e-visa was designed for modern travelers. It replaces old, confusing systems that forced people to rely on visa on arrival, approval letters, airport queues, and last-minute stress. With an e-visa, everything happens before you fly. No standing in long lines, no guessing if documents will be accepted, no awkward surprises at immigration. This option is perfect if you're traveling for tourism, short visits, or casual business. Indian passport holders are fully eligible, and the process is exactly the same whether you're applying from India, the United States, or anywhere else. It's official, digital, and linked directly to your passport. And unlike visa on arrival, you don't need an agent, a sponsor, or extra paperwork when you land. Immigration officers already have your details in their system. But here's where many people still mess up. Not because the visa is hard, but because they don't understand who should apply and how early. And that leads us straight into the next part. Because eligibility is simpler than you think. But one small detail can make or break your application. This is the question that causes the most anxiety. Am I even eligible for a Vietnam visa? The short answer, yes. If you're an Indian passport holder, you're fully eligible for Vietnam's official e-visa system. Vietnam expanded its e-visa program to include citizens from many countries, and India is firmly on that list. That means you don't need special invitations, sponsors, or connections. You don't need to visit a Vietnamese embassy, and you definitely don't need to hand over your passport to a travel agent and hope for the best. The entire Vietnam visa application is 100% online. You apply, submit your documents digitally, pay the official fee, and wait for approval, all before you travel. Once approved, your visa is already pre-cleared in Vietnam's immigration system. By the time you land, officers are simply verifying, not deciding. This is especially important for first-time travelers. Pre-approval removes uncertainty. You know your visa status before booking flights or hotels, which saves money and stress. However, eligibility doesn't mean anything goes. There are a few basic conditions tied to passport validity, entry purpose, and timing. Miss one small requirement, and your application can stall. And that's exactly what we'll break down next. The non-negotiable requirements you must have ready before you click apply. Before you even think about clicking the apply button, there are 3 non-negotiable requirements for a Vietnam visa. And surprisingly, this is where many applications quietly fail. First, your passport. It must be valid for at least 6 months after your intended travel date. Not the day you apply, not the day you land, 6 full months beyond your exit plan. If your passport is close to expiring, stop here and renew it first. No exceptions. Second, you need a clear digital passport-style photo. This is not a selfie. It should be taken against a plain background with good lighting, no shadows, no filters, and no hats or glasses. If the system can't read your face properly, your Vietnam visa can be delayed or rejected without explanation. Third, you must upload a scanned copy of the front page of your passport. This page needs to be sharp and readable, especially your name, passport number, and expiration date. Blurry scans are one of the most common silent killers of applications. That's it. No bank statements, no hotel bookings, no flight tickets required at this stage. Simple, right? Yes, but only if everything matches perfectly. Because next, we're going to walk through the online application itself. And this is where small typing mistakes turn into big problems. Now let's talk about the part that honestly scares most people. the online form. The truth? It's really not hard at all if you use the official website and just move carefully. Vietnam currently operates an official e-visa portal, and I've put the correct link for it in the description below. This is the government-run site, not an agency, not a middleman, and definitely not a paid service pretending to be official. Using the wrong site is, honestly, one of the fastest ways people lose money or delay their Vietnam visa. Once you're on the correct portal, the process is pretty straightforward. You choose English, confirm you're a foreign applicant, and then the form opens. You'll enter your personal details exactly as shown on your passport. Name, date of birth, nationality, passport number. No shortcuts. No guessing. Next, you upload your passport photo and the scanned passport page. Then you select your visa type, entry date, and port of entry. After that, you pay securely online using an international debit or credit card. That's it. No interviews, no phone calls, no embassy visit. But here's the catch. The system just doesn't forgive mistakes. One wrong letter or number can turn approval into delay. And that's why the next section is super critical, because choosing the wrong entry type can completely change your travel plans. This is honestly one of the most important choices you'll make during your Vietnam visa application. And it's also one of the most misunderstood. A single entry visa means exactly what it sounds like. You can enter Vietnam one time only. Once you leave the country, the visa is finished, even if it hasn't expired yet. This option is perfect if you're flying into Vietnam, staying the whole trip, and then flying home without crossing any borders. A multiple entry visa, on the other hand, gives you much more flexibility. It allows you to leave and re-enter Vietnam multiple times during the visa's validity period. This matters if your trip includes nearby countries like Thailand, Cambodia, or Laos, and then you want to return to Vietnam again. Here's where people get caught off guard. Many travelers choose single entry to save money, then change their travel plans later. When they try to re-enter Vietnam, immigration says no. At that point, there are no quick fixes at the border. The Vietnam visa system doesn't care about your intentions, it only cares about what you selected in the application. So before choosing, map out your trip carefully. One checkbox can decide whether your journey is smooth or stops abruptly. Next, we'll expose the most common mistakes that get visas delayed or rejected, even when everything looks correct on the surface. Most Vietnam visa rejections don't happen because the applicant isn't eligible. They happen because of small, avoidable mistakes. The biggest one, typing errors. A single wrong letter in your name, an extra space, or one incorrect digit in your passport number can cause a mismatch. And here's the scary part. The system usually won't warn you. Immigration compares your visa to your passport exactly. If it doesn't match, approval can be delayed or denied. The second major issue is the photo. A lot of people upload selfies, cropped images, or photos with shadows and busy backgrounds. If your face isn't clear, or the format doesn't meet the system's requirements, your Vietnam visa may get stuck in review with no clear explanation. But the most dangerous mistake of all? Using unofficial websites. There are so many sites that look official, charge higher fees, and promise faster approval. Some are just overpriced agents, others are straight-up scams. Reports from major publications like the Daily Telegraph have warned travelers about losing money or receiving unusable visas from these sites. The rule is simple. If the website isn't government-run, think twice. Up next, we'll talk about processing time, how long it really takes, what delays mean, and when you should start worrying, or not. Once you submit your Vietnam visa application and make the payment, the waiting game begins. The standard processing time is usually 3 to 5 business days. That means weekends and Vietnamese public holidays don't count, which is something many travelers overlook. In most cases, approvals arrive right on time. You'll get an email notification, and your e-visa will be available to download from the same official website. No phone calls, no interviews, just a digital document with your photo and visa details. However, delays do happen. High travel seasons, system maintenance, or small document issues can slow things down. That's why experienced travelers apply at least 7 to 10 days before departure, even though the official timeline sounds shorter. If you're in a rush, there are urgent or expedited services offered by third-party providers that claim faster processing for extra fees. Some work, some don't. These services are not run by the government, so results can vary. Always read carefully before paying more. The key takeaway? Don't wait until the last minute. A Vietnam visa isn't something you want to gamble on days before your flight. Next, we'll cover what happens after approval, and why downloading your visa correctly matters more than you think. Okay, so when your Vietnam visa is approved, you won't actually get a physical sticker or stamp in the mail. Instead, you'll get an email notification telling you that your e-visa is ready. From there, you just log back into the official portal and download the visa file. This document is, honestly, extremely important. It includes your photo, passport details, visa type, entry dates, and the border gates you selected. Before doing anything else, open the file and double-check every detail. Your name, passport number, and dates must match your passport exactly. If something looks off, fix it before you travel. Now here's a step many people underestimate. Print your e-visa. Yes, even in 2025, airlines often ask for a printed copy before boarding, and immigration officers in Vietnam may request it on arrival. Having a paper copy really saves time and avoids unnecessary stress. When you land in Vietnam, immigration doesn't decide on your visa. They simply verify it. If your documents match, the process is smooth and quick. Sounds easy, and it is. But where you land actually matters more than people think. Choose the wrong entry point, and you could run into trouble. That's exactly what we'll cover next. The approved entry points you must know before booking your flight. Here's an important update that clears up a lot of confusion. Vietnam's visa system is now much more flexible than before. Unlike the old rules, you are no longer locked into one exact entry point. Today, a valid Vietnam visa e-visa allows you to enter through any approved international airport, land border, or seaport, even if it's different from the one you initially selected in your application. This change has made travel planning far easier, especially for first-time visitors. Most travelers enter through major airports like Tan Son Nhat in Ho Chi Minh City or Noi Bai in Hanoi, and both fully accept e-visas. These airports are smooth, efficient, and ideal if you're flying in from India or other international hubs. Vietnam has also expanded e-visa access to many land borders and seaports. This is great news if you're traveling overland from Cambodia or Laos or arriving by cruise. Reports shared by the Times of India highlighted this move as a way to reduce hassle and boost tourism. That said, your entry point must still be on the approved list, just not an exact match to what you typed earlier. And now, for the final stretch, because the last section covers small insider tips that can save you time, money, and serious stress. Before you hit submit and relax, here are a few insider tips that experienced travelers swear by, and beginners often learn the hard way. First, apply at least 7 to 10 days before your travel date. Even though the Vietnam visa officially takes only a few business days, delays can happen. Public holidays, heavy traffic on the system, or small document reviews can slow things down. Applying early gives you breathing room and peace of mind. Second, double-check every single field. Names, passport numbers, dates, they must match your passport exactly. One tiny typo can turn into a delay with no clear explanation. Read everything once, then read it again. Third, don't panic if the website acts strange. Real traveler experiences shared on platforms like Reddit mention temporary glitches, frozen pages, or payment errors. If that happens, clear your browser cache. Switch to another browser, or try again after a few hours. It usually works. These small steps don't sound dramatic, but they make the difference between a smooth trip and last-minute stress. And that's it. The Vietnam visa process doesn't have to feel confusing or stressful. If you apply early, use the official website, and double-check your details, the e-visa system is actually smooth and reliable. No embassy visits, no agents, and no last-minute surprises at the airport. This guide was made to save you time, money, and unnecessary headaches, especially if you're applying for the first time. Vietnam is an incredible country, and your journey should start with confidence, not confusion. If this video helped you, give it a like, subscribe for more clear travel guides, and check the links in the description for official resources and updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Safe travels.